Bonjour, mon amis, c'est Argent. And recently, Capcom has unveiled one of the new features that's going to be in Ultra Street Fighter 4, and that's what is known as Edition Select. And what it is that you will be able to pick past iterations of characters throughout the Street Fighter 4 games. Like, you'll be able to play as the super version of Honda, or, most notably, the vanilla version of Sagat, or the AE version of Yoon. And it sent a lot of people up in an uproar. A lot of people were hyped for it, but what really got people upset is when they said that it would be an offline only feature. Now, with all of the online things that they're going to be adding to Ultra, people are definitely upset about this. And, I used to be one of the people that would be like, well, it'd be kind of dumb to add this online, given the fact that Ultra is not only adding more characters, but doing a full redo in terms of the balancing with the characters in this iteration of Street Fighter 4. But I'm thinking about it now. I wouldn't mind it as long as I had a choice of whether or not I wanted to deal with it as far as online is concerned. Because with tournaments, unless it's online tournaments, they can choose, the tournament organizers can choose whether or not, Edition Select can be a thing, or if it cannot be a thing. They could choose, like, okay, well, you can't use this version or iteration of these characters, or, they can also have, like, oh, well, if you pick this Ultra, then you have to stick with that Ultra unless you lose the match. Same how they do with characters. Winner stays on and keeps their character, and loser gets to change everything. And you can't change your character for the rest of the tournament. Little rules like that. I think that it's going to largely be up to tournament organizers. But the thing is, though, is that Capcom decided to do this. I'm going to tell you exactly why. And y'all fell for it. They did this to get people talking, because they knew that the way that Street Fighter 4 is, it's been a game that's prominently known for establishing how well online fighters should be. Now, I know others came before it and did it a certain way, and others came after it and maybe even did it better. But right now, Street Fighter 4, people are kind of like losing interest with it. So they needed something to stir people's pots. So they made it an offline feature and made it a point to let you know that it is an offline feature. Why? Because if it were an online feature, no one would say shit. No one would say shit, and it's getting people to now request it. It's a PR move, basically. They made this offline to get people, and now it doesn't even surprise me to see that they're now already talking about, well, maybe we kind of should have sort of put it online. And it wouldn't be hard to do. Just do what they did in Soul Calibur 4. As much as I hate to even reference that game, but they had a special mode and a regular mode. And special mode basically is, okay, all your created characters and characters with these powered up weapons, you can use them all in these lobbies. And then normal mode was all but the created characters with the default weapons. And the characters went through balance changes from the last iteration into that one. So, I mean, if you didn't want to deal with idiots that powered up their character to, basically hit you with one fucking attack and you lose because you don't want to use a Soul Calibur Soul Edge weapon just because you're not a prick that actually knows how to play the game, yeah, that choice is open. They should do the same thing with Ultra. Just make it so that there's a separate lobby where people can, argue amongst themselves. Oh, well, this is the version I want. And make it so you can lock out and ban certain versions of characters and whatnot, similar to what they did in Street Fighter 3 Online Edition. Also, they might as well... another thing, as opposed to the title of this video, with the fifth character, I think they've already given too many details away with her being not only a female, but being in the comic book and supposedly being a speedy character. And I'm just going to tell you right now, if it's not a new character, then it's got to be Maki. I don't see who else it could be. And to give you a prime example, Capcom likes to make little hints and nods and notions of how and why things are. You know, they like to show love to certain iterations. Like, recall UMVC3. In the end, we got 4 Resident Evil characters and 2 Resident Evil stages. In Street Fighter 4, we got 2 Final Fight characters and 1 Final Fight stage. And now they're adding 2 more. That would make the final count 4. With Maki, it would be 5. But they're also adding another Final Fight stage from Cross Tekken, in which Hugo and Poison were a thing. Oh yes, and of course, Rolento. Where are my manners? So that the count's already at 5. Her would make it 6. Most people are like, well, you know, Maki was similar to Guy, which is why Guy didn't make it in CVS2, but they wanted to give older iterations and old characters a chance in that game, and she was actually not bad in that game. She was actually pretty good. And for them to say that she's a fast character, and fast to the point where she would be pretty annoying for many people to see. And I've looked at her move list, and I don't remember much with Maki, but one thing I noticed is that she has way more moves than Guy. I am pretty interested to see if this character really is Maki, which, you know, I almost, you know, without a doubt in my mind, am pretty sure that it would be Maki, and why not? We're not going to be seeing Street Fighter V for a while, and who knows where the series will go and what direction. But, I mean, Maki's not that well known of a character, and she does have people that like her. Same with people that wanted Armika and Karen, which they confirmed are not going to be in the fucking game. I'm not big fans of those characters, but whatever, you know, I wouldn't mind them being in there, and even if it weren't Maki, I would like to see what this character can do. I would say, at first my thoughts were Ingrid, but I don't really recall Ingrid being in the comic book, and I remember Maki was, especially in the Sakura Gambara manga. I think that she fought her, and you know, just like she fought Karen, which is why they threw her in Alpha 3 in the first place. And yes, the manga came before the game. So with Maki, and Maki's never been in any of the Street Fighter games. And before anybody says it, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max Plus came out after CVS2, and that was a re-release on the PSP. Okay, so that doesn't count, is the point I'm trying to make here. It's got to be Maki, and if not, well, let's see. And I sure hope they actually make her good, because they seem to be buffing characters that, 1, either don't need the buffs, or 2, really need the buffs. And fuck the rest. But I sure hope that everybody is balanced out in a good way, including the new characters especially. Elena's looking pretty good. But this whole debacle about people arguing about whether or not there should be an edition select was all a PR move to get people to talk, and we know this for a fact. It's not an issue of whether or not it is a problem for them to do so. It could easily be done. Now, a world of problems could come with that, because we're talking about whole collages of frame data being interchangeable with and against each other. I suspect bugs and glitches coming with them, and then there were already bugs and glitches that were within the characters that they fixed in the midst of all their balancing. So enough with your bullshit, Capcom. Either make it online or don't, or just, you know, I guess get off to all the fanboys crying for it to be so, because I'm not gonna lose no sleep whether or not it's online. It's just like Mike Z said, online is not something that you should use as a defining factor of you to be good. It doesn't do your true skill any justice. Developer of Skullgirl said that, and he's very good at the game, and very good at taking care that his game is good, steady, with constant updates on a daily to weekly basis. Now it's your turn, Capcom. Come with it or don't. J'en dois voir. Merci, mon amis. C'est much in my delight.